we went to see Mickey 17.
Mm-hmm.
It's this was delayed for quite a while, I think, wasn't it?
This was on our most anticipated list of films for 2024.
Was it?
And then it didn't come out and made us look like fools.
There are many reasons that we look like fools.
Agreed. But that was one of them, and it was out of our control.
I'm amazed that this got delayed, and I'm not sure what the reasons were, but I'm amazed that it got delayed as much as it did, because the first 16 Mickeys did really well at the box office. They cleared up, so you'd think they'd rush out the 17th in the franchise.
I was literally waiting for that joke.
No, you wasn't.
I thought you were gonna kind of go down the road of like, you don't have to have seen the first 16 to understand it. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
so I knew it was coming.
So I did do something slightly different to what you were expecting.
Oh yeah. Completely unpredictable. What a wild card you are. No, I get what you're saying, but I sort of do understand why it was a bit delayed, because it's an odd one, much like all of Bong Joon-ho's films.
Yeah, it's definitely in keeping with a lot of his films, a lot of similar themes.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it being quite a hard sell from the distributor's point of view.
Well,
but equally, at this point, you would just assume from Oscar winner Bong Joon-ho, you think that would sell it alone.
Yeah.
So
exactly that. Like he's a filmmaker that a lot of people know and like, and like his movies. Parasite was huge. I really liked Okja, and I've seen others, I think, that he's done.
You weren't a fan of The Host, were you?
Have I seen it?
Oh, you told me you'd seen it.
I must have then.
Yeah, you never get these things wrong.
Snowpiercer, obviously.
Snowpiercer was great. Yeah,
Snowpiercer is great.
He has way more hits than misses. I think he's a really talented filmmaker.
Yeah.
Who has a really interesting style and perspective. And this sort of was very much in keeping with his prior work, I think.
Yeah.
So what did you think? Because we saw this not half an hour ago and we haven't really talked about it very much. So
no, I really liked it.
Okay.
Of course, it's based on book.
It is based on book, yeah. I didn't know that.
Second film in a row we've talked about on the Patreon feed that's based on book.
Yeah. God, get some fresh ideas, guys. Why's everything got to be an adaptation?
Yeah. But no, initial thoughts, like you said, we haven't had much time to think about it and digest it. Sometimes that's good and sometimes that's not very helpful. But in this case, I think I'm pretty confident in saying that, yeah, I liked it. Maybe I think I liked it probably as much as his other work that I've seen.
Okay.
I think that they're all pretty consistent for me. Like I like Snowpiercer, I like Okja, all of the movies, Parasite and this, they're all kind of similar quality, I think, for me.
Yeah.
But what about you?
I would consider myself a fan.
Yeah.
He's not my favourite of the Korean directors that whose work I've seen. But I loved Parasite, shock horror. I thought that was excellent.
Yeah, I'm ready for a rewatch on that, I think.
I was thinking about that the other day, actually. I was going to suggest it before we went to see this. Yeah, I believe I covered The Host on my very first podcast. So probably maybe like 12, 13 years ago at this point.
So let's see if we can dig that out.
No. No. Yeah, I think we did maybe like a creature feature month or something.
Oh.
And yeah, so that would have been the first Bong Joon-ho movie that I saw.
Yeah.
So yeah, I consider myself a fan. I thought this was great.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of a lot of the actors involved, which certainly helped.
Yes, Robert Pattinson is in it twice.
Right, he is. Do you know what? I used to think Robert Pattinson was such a fucking yogurt. Because, but ditto with Kristen Stewart. I had the same issue with them because I fucking hated Twilight. I was probably too old to be the target audience when it came out. I took a very cynical approach. I thought they were dog shit. Just was not invested. Never read the books. Couldn't care less. Which is kind of saying a lot considering how into vampires I am. Wasn't interested. And it took a long time for me for the Twilight stink to evaporate off the both of them.
Yeah.
But I think they've both really proven themselves to be fucking excellent actors.
Yeah.
I think Robert Pattinson makes some really interesting choices. I think he sort of, I don't know, it's weird because he sort of came out the gate swinging as a bit of a teen heartthrob type and now just makes the weirdest choices known to man.
But I guess, he was a young actor. He wanted to be successful.
Yeah, of
I think he
course.
was from the school of Hogwarts, right? Wasn't he a Potter child?
Oh,
think.
maybe, yeah.
So
I'm not a fan of those movies either, so
no,
unsure.
ditto. But he's obviously gone from like a child actor, I guess, and then into Twilight, earned a few quid, seen that process and gone through that and decided, oh, that's not what I want to do. I actually want to do proper movies. And then I think for me, when I saw him in, is it the Cronenberg movie Cosmopolis?
Oh yeah.
I think it's when he did that, and I don't know when that was. I want to say around 2014 or something.
Was that the whole film? Was him in the back of a car?
Yeah, back of a
limo. Yeah. No, I do remember that.
And I think that was when, for me, he probably made the switch. I was like, oh, this is a serious actor now. But yeah, he's great and stuff. Makes some really interesting choices. Obviously, the Batman.
Do you know what? Sorry, just to divert you for a split second. He's potentially a little bit too old now. But the other day we were talking about who could be a Patrick Bateman in the American Psycho remake. I don't know. Maybe Robert Pattinson's aged out of that a little bit, but he could have.
I think he could absolutely do it.
He could smash that.
I think he'd be a really good choice for that, actually.
Just occurred to me.
Yeah, better than my suggestion of Patrick Schwarzenegger.
I don't know. As soon as you said that, I was like, I can see that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like yours better. I think yours works better. Yeah. Strong cast all round. Obviously, that's another thing with Bong Joon-ho movies. It's always just packed with an absolute dynamite cast.
Not just a dynamite cast, but like a really interesting and diverse ensemble.
Yeah, well, obviously we've already mentioned Pattinson. We've got Naomi Aki, who we last saw in Blink Twice.
Yeah, she's cropped up in a few things we've watched lately. I'm excited to see more of her.
I'm guessing she shot this before Blink Twice.
I would have thought so, yeah.
Stephen Yeun, who is just seems like he's in everything, and that's great because I think he's such an enjoyable actor to watch.
He's so good in Beef. I loved that
Beef
show.
was amazing. Yeah, you're right. We've got a unusually placed Thomas Turgoose in a very short role. You don't sort of expect to see him, really, do you? So when he pops up, you're like, oh, yeah.
Sean!
Yeah. Who else? Mark Ruffalo, who got the memo, and he's having a ball in this movie.
Wearing the biggest fake teeth I've ever seen.
Lord. Yeah, it really affected his speech as well, didn't it? Which really, I thought, added to the character as well.
Yeah,
which was great. And Toni Collette, who's always great to see.
I love Toni Collette. I do.
Yeah,
I'm always happy to see her. Do you know there was a screening of Muriel's Wedding in Glasgow this week?
Oh, really?
And she turned up to it.
Oh, great!
I'm so envious of everybody that was there. That would have been amazing.
Yeah,
but yeah, she's a legend.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely stellar cast.
Yeah.
And everybody was kind of bringing their A game as well.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely. There's sometimes you watch a film and you're like, do you want to be here? But in this one, it felt like everyone wanted to be there, and also like
and they all got the memo.
Knew what they were making.
Yeah.
I feel like Bong Joon-ho must be just very good at explaining what he wants, and I guess as well, like we've already said that his films are tonally very similar, and it seems like they're critical of similar things.
Yeah, they've all got that satirical edge to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I guess there is that. So I guess anyone that's making a Bong Joon-ho movie, they read the script and they go, yeah, I think I know what he's going to want from this. But I did hear that Ruffalo, when he said, I shot this a couple of years ago. And he was worried that when he was making it, he thought, oh, this is absurd. Like, this is too much. I'm going too far with this. But things have happened in politics, which let's maybe not get into. But
maybe they consulted a fortune teller and they told them to delay the film until now, so it would be even more prescient.
That could be. I mean, the fortune teller stuff aside, just maybe someone that follows any kind of news whatsoever.
Yeah, political trends. Or,
Yeah, political trends. Yeah, that's cynical, but you might be onto something with that.
But
And I
it's
think
certainly very relevant now, isn't it?
it probably does play better now than it would have done a year ago in terms of just, oh yeah, they're wearing red hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight away
Yeah.
you just know. And Ruffalo is even doing the little shuffle thing.
My God, the dance. Yeah.
We're about 10 minutes into this, but we haven't spoiled anything so far. Should we keep it light at this
I
point?
would say let's keep it very light on the spoilers because it only came out yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know when this review's coming out.
I'm
but
not releasing this for 6 months.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, by then, it's fine. It's fair game.
I'll probably put it out midweek, probably like Wednesday, Thursday or something.
Yeah, so it's still in its first week of release.
Yeah.
Let's go light on the spoilers.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, Ruffalo, I really enjoyed watching him in this. It's similar in was he similar in Poor Things, but maybe he had a similar kind of ridiculous vibe about him.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. Like his projection and his speech was similar.
Yeah, he does like to play an absurd character.
Yeah,
and I think he's very good at it.
He is actually. Yeah,
he's very.
I always
funny.
enjoy seeing him crop up in stuff.
He has very good timing, I think, and just the performance and the little things that he does. Like there's a moment in this where he just licks his lips. I'm like, that killed me.
Yeah,
it's the most small thing, but it makes so much sense for that kind of character that he's portraying and the narcissism that you associate with him. Immediately, as soon as he's on screen, you know what he is, and all of those subtle little things. And the same with Toni Collette as well. Like those two as a double act, I thought was absolutely great.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess I mean, you see, we said that we're not going to spoil it or keep it as light as possible. So what I will start by saying is that I thought that we saw the trailer a few times, and I think the trailer did what I think trailers should do. And they give you the setup of the movie and kind of what to expect. But I was still very surprised by what happened in the film. It did go to places that I did not expect. And the whole, I would say, second half of the movie was not really in the trailer at all.
There were a couple of clips, but they were without context and like, yeah.
Yeah, and I really, really liked that because I saw the trailer. Yeah, I'm into this. Bong Joon-ho, Robert Pattinson, I'm in. Trailer looks great, and then as often is the case is that the trailers give too much away, and we've seen a million trailers and a million movies at this point. Usually with the trailers I can sort of figure out what's going on, as I suppose I expect most people listening to this probably similar. But yeah, having watched the trailer, I was just very pleasantly surprised that I was surprised.
Yeah,
I was pleasantly surprised about that. Yeah, went places I didn't expect.
It had a lot more in common than I thought it would with Starship Troopers in terms of some of the things that it's lampooning.
Well, it's a space thing.
Yeah, it's like very tonally different, very different kind of humour. But there were certain themes that had a lot of crossover. And I'm the only person that I've seen so far who's mentioned that.
Yeah, you did mention that on the walk home, and I do totally agree with you.
It seemed blindingly obvious to me, but I guess not to anybody else, so maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think it's got somewhat of a space adventure about it as well. So there's that on a sort of a kind of a surface level. Thematically, there's a lot of similarities. It's not as action-packed as Starship Troopers. It is a different movie, but there's
very different, yeah.
There are definitely some consistencies there. Yeah, I totally see that.
Yeah, I definitely saw shades of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because Bong Joon-ho's films, I think, are excellent, but they're not the sort of films that I'm like, right, I immediately have to own a copy of this. I can't wait to watch it again. I'm just like, yeah, it was really good, and I will probably watch that again in the future. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not rabid about them.
I think, well, for one thing, I think quite a lot of them are pretty long. I sort of feel that about this film. Like, I really liked it, but I'm probably not going to rush out to watch it again. I feel like I got everything I needed to from one watch, and I'm sure there's going to be more that you would pick up on subsequent viewings, but I'd prefer to leave it a bit longer, like Parasite, for example.
Yeah.
5 years now since I've seen that. I'm probably at a place where I'm ready to watch that again. Okja I saw a couple of times. I've seen that maybe 2 or 3 times, and
Did you cover that on your old podcast?
yeah.
I thought you did.
Really, I love that film. I think it's absolutely great.
Mm.
And Snowpiercer, I think I've seen that twice as well.
Okay.
But again, I think I covered that too, so that would be why.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 thumbs up, 1.5.
For Mickey 17, I'm going to give it 17 thumbs up, I think.
17
Yes.
thumbs.
I can't wait for Mickey 18.
Okay, yeah, I'm with the 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Just the 2.
Yeah.
But that's a strong recommendation.
No,
I think
it was great. I was pretty excited for it, looking forward to it. I don't feel like it's like, you know, sometimes you're excited for a film and you're like, going to temper my expectations a little bit. I don't ever feel like I need to do that with Bong Joon-ho because I know it's going to be a certain level of quality. Whether I enjoy it, I mean, I think I've liked everything that he's done, but you just feel like you're in safe hands.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, I'm just going to sit down and let this film happen to me. And I think my one complaint about it is probably that it is a bit too long, and there are parts in it that I probably would have cut. Particularly one scene towards the end of the movie, I don't really see what it was there for, which I'm not going to spoil.
I think I know which one you mean, though.
Okay.
Interestingly,
we'll talk about it after.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll talk about it if we ever cover it on the main feed.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's probably my only criticism. Otherwise, very funny, very on point at the moment, very relevant,
terrifyingly, in fact,
terrifyingly relevant, not very subtle. But films don't need to always be subtle.
No.
I'm fine with that, and you know what you're going to get really with that sort of thing. Is Bong Joon-ho, is he a vegan?
It wouldn't surprise me.
It's like
after Okja and
and then I was thinking probably about Okja more than any other of his films while I was watching this.
Yeah.
Which again, not really going to go into that too much, but yeah.
Good. I'd be interested to know. Yeah.
Yeah.